Okay, I'd like to talk to you about how I'm going to grade the class so you can get that A that you all deserve. First thing, you can hop into the grades section here in the course homepage, and we'll take a look at what's in the gradebook. So first you have the name of the assignment, and all the assignments from the class are listed here vertically. Then you have the date it's due, and you'll see there's about 4 per week. You'll see 1, 2, 3, 4. Next week, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Then you'll have the score that you got out of that, out of the possible points here on the right. Okay. If you see a dash, that means it hasn't been graded, and there's a couple reasons that could be. One is we haven't gotten to it yet. It hasn't been opened. 2 is I haven't gotten the grade in yet. I'm still working on it. It usually takes me a week or so to get grades in. Or 3 is I'm not going to grade that assignment. And you won't know that until afterwards. Because remember, I'm going to only select random assignments throughout the semester. I'm not going to grade every assignment. But you sure want to complete every assignment, because the one I might pick might be one you didn't do, and then you would get a 0 on that assignment. And I don't want that to happen to anybody. At the bottom, you'll see your total grades, and it's made up of the sections here: participation, quizzes, assignments, and exams. The weighting of those sections is up here on the top right. You'll see those, and those are the same as what we talked about in the syllabus. And if I haven't graded something, if you hover over it, you can see you can test a score. What does that mean? Well, if you want to know what sort of grade you need to get on a final or midterm or something like that in order to get an A out of the class, you can click on this and you can type in that number. So if I type in 9 here for this assignment, now that's the only assignment graded. If I go to the bottom, you'll see I have 9 out of 18 on my quizzes, or 50% for the class. Okay. I'm going to change that to an 18, and now I get an A out of the class. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that easily. You don't get to change the grades once I submit them, and my grade will override the grade you put in. So if you'd like to start out on the top, go ahead and give yourself 100% on the assignments, and then as I come through, I will adjust those accordingly. Your tested grade is not your final grade, but a lot of students find it useful, especially for the final. Like, say you already have an A, maybe you don't need to do that much in the final. Maybe you only need to get like a C on the final or something like to get an A out of the class. Okay, so those decisions can be yours. All right, let's go back to how I grade individual assignments. I'm going to go back to the modules here, and I'm going to go down to the song form module. Here we have a typical week where there are 4 activities that are due for the week. The first one is a discussion. The second one is a group assignment. The third one is a personal assignment, and the fourth one is a quiz. And I want to show you a little bit on each one of these. Okay, so I'm going to open up the discussion and the group assignment first. This discussion is with 8 to 10 of your colleagues. And the point of this discussion is to complete this assignment with them. You will complete the discussion here. You will hand in the results of that discussion here under the assignment. So let me jump into the discussion here. I am in a bunch of different groups here. You will only see one group, and your group will have a name. You'll see that most of these are lead singers who passed before their time in rock and roll. It's a very popular thing for rock musicians to do. They either live forever or die young. Here, you hit this reply button, and you can start your discussion. I am grading every discussion. What does the discussions look like? Well, you can get points by having contributions that do 3 things. This is the 3 things I'm looking for. You state a position, you tell me or tell the group why you've taken that position, and you provide evidence to support that position. So those are the 3 things I'm looking for in a typical discussion post. Should be 3 to 5 sentences, right? Not a whole lot more than that. Again, you're gonna take a position, you're gonna say why you've taken that position, and you're gonna provide some evidence. What does that evidence look like? It could be a link to a song, it could be a link to a web page or a publication of some sort that supports your position in that. Okay. You're not going to get points if you write 3 to 5 pages of elaboration on the topic, overdoing it and monopolizing the space. Think of this discussion area as the same thing as sitting in a room talking with people. If one person's talking too much, it's not a discussion, right? So you want to be able to have interaction with your colleagues. Also, you can't just sit in the back of the room and not talk, right? So you can't just say, yeah, I agree, or nod your head. In this situation, you need to actually provide some contributions. And again, those are the 3 things I'm looking for: a position, why you're taking the position, evidence to support that position. Okay. You can also get points by submitting questions that demonstrate that you've done some work but haven't been able to answer that particular question. So you might say, does anyone know how to X because I've tried Y? Okay. Demonstrate that you've done something, what you found, and so people aren't having to guess what you do know. Demonstrate that you do have some knowledge. And then if you answer that question, you can get points too. Okay. So the 3 ways that I'm looking to give points: stating a position, why you've taken that position, and providing evidence. That's great points. Asking a pertinent question that shows that you've done some research and understand the topic, but have a hole in your understanding. And 3, answering a question that another student has posted. Okay. Ways to not get points are to write 3 to 4 or 5 pages of gobbledygook that's too much for everybody, or to not provide any sort of response, or just a yes or no here and there. Okay. So you're going to use this discussion to complete the group assignment right here. Okay. And group assignments look like this. This is where you actually submit the results of that discussion. I explained that right up here. Okay. For each week, each group assignment, one person will be the leader. So you need to find a leader in your discussion group, identify a leader. That person will submit the assignment. Everybody gets the same grade on this assignment. Okay, so the leadership role is an important one. You have to lead an assignment at least once in the semester, and then you get extra credit for leading additional assignments. Okay. Then the assignment information is down here below. And what I'll usually do is I'll explain the assignment, and then I will provide something like this. Make it look just like this by copying and pasting the following text and changing the content. Each week you can just come grab this text here. I want it to look just like this, only you update the content. In this case, you would update the song name, you would update the link, and you would update this information down below. Okay? That's really important. I don't want you to start to make up your own formats here, because I've got to go through and grade everybody's. And if they all look different, it makes it very difficult for me to complete that grading. Part of your grade is going to be to do this. At least 10% of the grade is just going to be following the instructions that are provided. Why is that? Because that's the way the real world works. When your boss tells you, I want A, B, and C, you provide A, B, and C, not X, Y, and Z. Okay? So this is an important part to follow these directions. If you have problems, then you will ask me, right? You will come over and you'll ask here in the inbox, or in the main discussion at the top of the, remember we have this discussion, the open forum discussion, right, for general questions. That will mainly be answered by other students. Okay, so those are your 2 ways. So those are typical discussion and group assignment. Then your assignments, you're going to have each week some sort of assignment that you're going to complete on your own. We'll just preview this one real quick. In some of these, you will see that there will be short answers, responses required. And in this case, what I want you to do is really put the time into spelling and capitalizing and spacing your words appropriately. Okay, so if it's someone's name, first initial is capitalized, first initial of last name is capitalized. If it's a band, the whole band name is there. If it's a song, the whole song name is there. Okay. You will submit these. Sometimes it'll say quiz, right, even though it's assignment. Sometimes some assignments will be videos. Assignment might be a written topic. There'll be a lot of different types of assignments, okay? But these are assignments that you're completing on your own. The last thing you'll find each week is a quiz, okay? And the quizzes are generally multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank sort of things. So you'll see right here is an example of a quiz question. There's usually 1 question per page. If I hit the next, it'll go to the next quiz question. This is a matching one where I have to match this definition with these terms. You will recognize these terms from Quizlet. This shouldn't be very hard. Basically, you're showing me that you're engaging with the materials, okay? At the end, make sure you submit the quiz. When you completed all the questions, you have 2 opportunities to take the quiz, so you can go back and take them again. That is not the case with the final and the midterm, but the quizzes, you can do that. Okay. So that's how a typical week works and how I'm going to grade it. Let me know if you have questions.